Hello, this video is going to be about ecological assessment. So an ecological assessment is a comprehensive process in which data is collected about how a child functions in a different environment or a different setting. Sometimes students eligible for special education might perform or behave well in some environments but have difficulty in others. I taught special education last year in West Virginia, and this fits the example of many students that I had. Sometimes they would be very successful in my classroom, but they wouldn't be very successful in the general education environment because there's other distractions, there's more students, the teacher has a different teaching style, so that can certainly affect it. Also, they might act differently at home than they do at school. They might act differently in art, perform differently in art, music, PE. So an ecological assessment is comprehensive. So that's why it's so important. Sometimes other children, they might even have a school phobia. They might be scared of school, which it can be this irrational, persistent fear of going to school. And this child may be fine at home, but they might be depressed, anxious when they come to school. So again, that's why an ecological assessment is so important. Let's go over some of the information that's included in an ecological assessment. So it's often obtained through observation, but information can be gathered through student records, interviews with the student, or with the student and their family. So, for an example, with an ecological assessment for my students last year, we collected data from a number of different environments. So, a third-party teacher would observe the student in a classroom setting, but the school psychologist would collect a behavior scales document that I believe that's what it was called, where every teacher that the student would give them a rating, 1 through 4, on a variety of different things, behavioral, academic, and every teacher, the PE teacher, the music teacher, general education teacher, special education teacher, whoever the student was seeing would fill this out, as well as a questionnaire going home. So every teacher that sees this student, as well as the parent that has them at home, is giving information that's included. So information is crucial in special education going into the individualized education plan of that student. The ecological assessment is going to help determine why this child functions differently in different settings. Maybe they misbehave when the environment is too stimulating. Maybe the expectations of the authority figures, the teacher, the parent, can be severely different from one environment to the next. So kind of like my example from before, I ran more of a positive behavior support classroom, smaller environment, differentiated assignments on their instructional level, and in the general education classroom, the teacher was more assertive discipline, didn't always differentiate the assignments, so that's why some of my students would act differently in the general education environment.